national team, but he is also an executive member of the Ghana Football Association. There's an issue of conflict of interest there. We'll talk about it, as always, here on Ghana Tonight. You're an integral part of the conversation. Let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is Ghana Tonight on Facebook and Twitter. Let's get talking. Let's settle for Ghana Briefs.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana could face a challenging task in Governor of the Bank of Ghana could face a challenging task in addressing Parliament as the minority has declared him persona non grata. Dr. Ernest Addison, after failing to meet protesters of the Occupy BOG demo on Tuesday to take their petition, described the protest as unnecessary. He is reported to have further described the actions by the minority-led protest as hooliganism.
His appointers, that is the president and the current finance minister, have on several occasions used peaceful protests, in fact sometimes violent protests, as means of registering their views. So in effect, he's calling President Akufo-Addo and Finance Minister hooligans. I think they should take a cue from what their appointee is saying.
Minority leader and former Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Kese Wato-Forson has not reached out to the Attorney General's office to negotiate a plea deal in the ambulance case in which he has been charged with causing a financial loss of 2.37 million euros to the state. Counsel and Director of Legal Affairs of the National Democratic Congress, Gordon Edujisa-Maklo, in an interview accused government of planting the story as a diversionary tactic.
And that the publication is completely false. I think that it will do the office of the Attorney General a lot of good to put out there in public any form by way of written offer or notice or application from Mr. Wato-Forson to the Attorney General, asking for a plea bargain.
Some trainee teachers, even before completing school, are planning to leave the shores of Ghana and render their teaching services abroad. They cited poor conditions of service for teachers and disrespect for the teaching profession as a driving factor.
In our country, Ghana, they devalue teachers. When I travel to other countries, though, they put value on teachers, so they will increase my salary. So why should I stay in Ghana? I have to leave the country for a better place.
Director of Academic Planning at Gimpa Business School, Dr. Ebenezer Bugri Anafo, says that continued agitation against the governor of Ghana's central bank could dwindle investor confidence in the country. According to him, the situation indicates weak systems. He believes that the governor should resign to save the economic further downtown.
If I were the governor of the central bank, is to resign honorably in order to restore investors' confidence. It is better for him to resign to restore the confidence in the economy than to stay in there, and that will not augur well for our economy.
An energy analyst, Dr. Yusuf Suleimana, has encouraged government to involve workers of Tema Oil Refinery as it seeks investment for revamping the company. He was reacting to the demand by the workers for the dissolution of the board over the Torrent Code, describing the process as lacking transparency.
We need to inject some bit of capital into the system because the system has been idle for quite a long time. So having an investor investing into the refinery is something that is so much needed. I think we just need to have some efficiency being injected into the refinery The reason why we don't have efficiency in the refinery is because of so much interference.
Oh, there's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, the governor of the central bank could face a challenging task in addressing parliament as a minority has declared him persona non grata. Dr. Ernest Addison, after failing to meet the protesters of the Occupy BOG demonstration on Tuesday to take their petition, described the protest as unnecessary. And he is also reported to have further described the actions by the minority-led protest as hooliganism. That is what has incurred the wrath of the minority leadership in Parliament. And they are not taking kindly to this. And a number of other groups that align with this Occupy BOG protest. But take a look at this. This is what specifically the governor is quoted to have said in that interview with the International Business Magazine. The minority in Parliament could have many channels to channel their grievances in civilized societies, not through demonstrations in the streets as hooligans. This is what Gavin's Kwame Agboja has been responding to with respect to this particular statement by the central bank governor. He says that the minority is devising a strategy to respond to him. This statement about the impairment of the bank's holdings we will come to shortly. But let's hear from Gavin's Kwame Agboja when my colleague Komla Kluche, Chief Parliamentary Correspondent, spoke to him earlier about what the Bank of Ghana has said about these protesters. Take a look.
His appointers, that is the president and the current finance minister, have on several occasions used peaceful protests, in fact, sometimes violent protests, as means of registering their views. So in effect, he's calling President Akufo-Addo and Finance Minister hooligans. I think they should take a cue from what their appointee is saying. He can sit in his ivory tower and speak quite loosely, feeling that, of course, the appointing authority is an accomplice. So he's not going to be sacked. But the day of reckoning is coming. As for us in Parliament, we take note of what he's saying. Parliament will resume very shortly. And we have few ideas as to how we are going to deal with the governor. But as far as we are concerned, he's a persona non grata currently, and we shall treat him like that. He wants us to be, he described us as hooligans. We shall show him who hooligans are.
As Gavin's Kwame Agboja says, they're ready. They're going to show the governor how hooligans behave, but didn't give us a clear idea of the strategy they're going to use when Parliament resumes. But let me just give you a clear picture of the reason why this protest was occasioned in the first place. This is how the Bank of Ghana's financials looked like, at least for the past 5 to 6 years, until 2022, when they posted that over 60 billion cedis loss. In 2017, they recorded a loss of about 1.6 billion. In 2018, the loss came down a bit to about 793 million. Then in 2019, there was a profit of 1.6 billion. Then in 2020, there was profit, even during COVID, by 1.5 billion cedis. Now, if you listen to the governor of the central bank, keeps making reference to the period that they made profit. That's when they took the decision to build this new headquarters, which has also generated another issue. That's one of the reasons why the protesters were on the streets a couple of days ago, that the headquarters being built is a misplaced priority, especially because of the crisis situation that we find ourselves in, and then also the Bank of Ghana itself finds itself in. The governor has always made reference to this period of the profit, 1.6 billion in 2019, 1.5 billion approximately in 2020, and in 2021, 1.4 billion thereabout. He says that was the period that they took the decision to start building this new headquarters. But in 2022, this is it. This humongous figure of 60.8 billion cedis loss. And that is what the central bank governor, he also responded to this loss, and and whether hasn't put the Bank of Ghana itself into a crisis situation. This is what he said in response to this question about the loss that they posted when they had that interview with the International Magazine. This is it. That, quote, the impairment of the bank's holdings of debt, which led to the losses, was a conditionality from the IMF program. Nobody at the Bank of Ghana forgave any debt, unquote. Professor John Gachi is the Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School, joining us on Zoom. Professor Gachi, thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. So this is the governor of the central bank's response to the debt, which is one of the reasons why there was this protest, which a number of you align with in the academia. He says that it was a conditionality from the IMF program and it had to be done, Prof.
I think those complicate the matter. We do know that the IMF put forward a debt exchange program to be done by government before they can come in to lend to the government. And it is also to be noted that without the central bank lending excessively in the name of trying to support government to restore the economy, there will not be any need for those kind of impairments to be undertaken. So the issue is traceable to whether or not the Bank of Ghana is complying with the requirement of engaging the finance ministry and again going to parliament to seek approval for such things before they were done. That is where the beef is. So if that was not done and you engage in excessive support for government, and that has resulted into IMF putting that as a condition, that does not absolve you from doing what is not expected of you. So I think those things should be put on record. So the debt exchange program and its effect on banks and the central bank is as a result of the level of exposure of central bank to government. So if the central bank was to do the right thing, not to be exposed to government to the tune that was recorded, the debt exchange program will not have such a toll on the books of central bank.
Now, the governor didn't take kindly to the choice of the channel by the minority and then the other protesters to put out the issues. This protest they went on, it described them with very strong words about hooliganism and so on and so forth. This is the minority's position, that he is persona non grata. They have devised a strategy for him when Parliament resumes. But what's your take on the governor's verdict of the protesters using that channel to put out their issues about the central bank's dealings?
Well, I think it's unfortunate. It's not a civil language. The language is vulgar and is unexpected of a governor of the central bank. I think the central bank governor has a duty to continue to press on Ghanaians to understand his position. But to go beyond that, to call protesters hooligans and the rest, that they should know the right channel to use, etc. That is uncalled for. That is unfortunate. And I believe the central bank government is exercising powers that he thinks he will over the people. And those powers will definitely be taken out from him. He will be stripped of those powers very soon. And because of that, he needs to be measured in the statement that he makes to the people. And again, protest it's a right that is given to people to exercise. So if people exercise that right, it is not in the place of the governor to direct parliamentarians and Ghanaians as to what is proper channel to use. So this is a proper channel they have decided to use as prescribed by the Constitution. Those other channels that the minister, the governor thinks, like calling him to parliament, the parliamentarians has also accused him of not acceding to their calls to parliament. So I think it's just not the best moment for the country.
I see, and I'm looking at the auditors of the central bank. In fact, the document that details this over 60 billion cedis loss that we're talking about. So, as it stands now, the Bank of Ghana would need recapitalization by government because of the crisis situation. The government is also facing its own crisis. So then, what happens next?
Well, that is what we read from the audit reports of the Bank of Ghana finances. So that is what we are expecting to happen. But beyond all that, all these things need the support of Ghanaians to happen. In fact, they even need support of Parliament to happen. So the attitude of the governor must be measured to solicit support from all stakeholders who are needed to ensure that what is supposed to be done to strengthen the Bank of Ghana, to reform the Bank of Ghana, to institute structures that will inure to the benefit to the financial markets and the economy at large. The Bank of Ghana governors should not be seen being antagonistic to such people. The Bank of Ghana governors should not be seen spewing unacceptable expressions against protesters.
Well, I appreciate your time. Professor John Gachi, thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Professor Gachi is the Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School. And this is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, Minority Leader and former Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. Kesela Toforsin, has not reached out to the Attorney General's office to negotiate a plea deal in the ambulance case in which he has been charged with causing financial loss to the state to the tune of some 2.37 million euros. Now, we make reference to this particular story because earlier there was a daily graphic publication that's a daily guide, I beg your pardon, a daily guide publication to the effect that, quote, credible intelligence, and I'm reading from the Daily Guide's publication earlier today. Credible intelligence gathered indicates that, quote, minority leader in parliament, we're going to put that on the screen as we go on shortly, minority leader in parliament and former deputy finance minister, Dr. Kesela Toforsin, has reached out to the Attorney General, hoping to have the criminal action against him settled through a plea bargain. This is what the story said, and it continues that information gathered by Daily Guide indicates that Dr. Forson, as a minority leader, has, through his lawyers, written to the Attorney General seeking to settle the trial initiated against him for willfully causing financial loss to the state to the tune of 2.37 million euros. He said, according to Daily Guide's own intelligence, that's what it said in the story, Dr. Forson has, through his lawyers, written to the Attorney General seeking to settle this trial initiated against him for causing financial loss to the state to the tune of 2.37 million euros. So let's find out from the lawyers of Dr. Kesela Toforsin whether indeed they reached out to the Attorney General for this plea deal, an out-of-court settlement. Edujit Tamaklo is private legal practitioner, counsel for Dr. Kesela Toforsin, minority leader. He's joining us on Zoom. Thank you. Lawyer Godwin Ejudi Tamaklo for a time here on Ghana Tonight. Let's establish this. Have you reached out to the Attorney General with a plea deal to have this causing financial loss to the state case against your client, Dr. Atoforsen, settled out of court?
There's no truth whatsoever in that claim. The Honorable Alfred Ocansey, doctor, as you're aware, have been going through criminal trial. At no point in the course of the trial has he put in an application under the plea bargaining act. At no point has he done that. And the record is there at no point. In fact, the interesting thing with the court system is that everything is recorded. So at the end of every proceedings, the proceedings for the day, we go for it. And there's no such application from the Honorable Kesley and so forth.
I'd
Yes.
say that's interesting. There's no such application. And the daily newspaper, the Daily Guide is referring to their intelligence. What could be the interests being pursued in a situation like this when the story is put out, which has no basis, you say?
I think it's purely politics. As you're aware, the Honorable Kesil Atoforsen, doctor, has been at the forefront of this Occupier BOG conversation as the leader of the minority in Parliament. He had raised legitimate concerns about the over 80 billion Ghana cedis that the Governor of Bank of Ghana and the two deputies have printed for this government, and which clearly offends or violates the Bank of Ghana Act 2002, Act 612, as amended by the Bank of Ghana Amendment Act 2016, Act 918. And if you look at the conduct, it's one that the minority have raised issues and they have organized a very successful demo. So 2 days after the demo, there has been a spirited attempt to divert attention from the success chalked with the demo. And beyond that, there's no basis why the Daily Guide would want to peddle such obvious falsehood. I've been thinking what, and listen, this is the story with a banner headline, right? And it is to have maximum impact. The thing with falsehood, that it is first to run, but the truth will always catch up with it. And I have queried the people around Daily Guide that, look, if you want to do a serious publication of this nature against the person of the Honorable Minority Leader, Kesil Atoforsen, it is only fair. In journalism, I'm sure you are also taught the benefit of, hearing the other person. That was certainly not done. And I have questioned the persons who published the story, and the only response is that they didn't mean any harm. I said, why wouldn't you have consulted us, at least before going to publish such a story? And we have written to them, and as you can see, the write-up that I put out this evening, and I've asked that they should retract and apologize to the Honorable Minority Leader. Completely false. Alfred, the laws of this country allows an accused person to enter a plea agreement. The act itself provides the mode, the mechanism to initiate such a plea. Mm-hmm. What I'm aware of is that the third accused person in the ongoing trial had actually taken such an initiative by bringing a formal motion before the courts. That I am aware.
Right.
Beyond that, nothing whatsoever. And I'm also aware a situation where the lawyer for the third accused reached out wanting to find out if we have any objection today going in for a plea agreement. And we said, look, we are here on our individual's call. If you have reason to think that you want to do a plea, so be it. We cannot ask you not to do it, but we are not. And like the record will show, the courts asked us to open our defense. We have so open our defense, we call our witnesses, and that's what it is.
I see.
And so we are going back next week to continue with the defense that we've opened. And throughout, we have maintained the innocence of our client. And our client, for the record, pleaded not guilty to the counts that were brought or the charges that were brought against him. So nothing more, nothing else, my brother.
Well, thank you very much for joining us and also the response to this earlier publication. Thank you. Godwin Ejudi Chamaklo is private legal practitioner, counsel for Dr. Kaysel Atuforsen, minority leader. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, some trainee teachers, even before completing school, are planning to leave the shores of Ghana and render their teaching services abroad. They cited poor conditions of service for teachers and disrespect for the teaching profession as a driving factor. Now, it's a crisis situation that we're facing at the moment, because now it's moving from the nurses, the doctors, now we're talking about teachers. So we interacted with some teacher trainees to find out from them why a number of them, in fact, are living in huge numbers now. According to the Ghana National Association of Teachers data, which the president himself put out, the situation is alarming. Take a look.
In our country, Ghana, they devalue teachers. When I travel to other countries, though, they put value on teachers, so they will increase my salary.
We'll try and rectify that connection for you, and then also engage with the Ghana National Association of Teachers. An executive member, Christian Edinkra, is joining us on Zoom shortly, and we'll have some answers as well from former staff of the Ghana Education Service as to what has to be done to deal with this rather worrying trend that we're seeing with teachers leaving the country. We'll be back shortly after this quick break. We'll rectify this quickly. Stay with us. This is Ghana Tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Hello, my name is Dede, and as you already know, when it comes to quality phones and accessories but yet affordable, it's Franco Trading Enterprise. We are #1. We have television set from 24 inches to 65 inches, Franco air condition from 1.5 horsepower to 2.5 horsepower. We have mobile phones, iPhones, Nokia, Samsung, Huawei, Infinix, Alcatel, and accessories like phone protectors, phone covers, pen drive, hard drives. we have skilled personnel who will serve you as you wish. So look no further than Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise, the home of quality air condition, television, mobile phones, and accessories.
This is Key Points, the #1 award-winning television news analysis program, providing an enlightened analysis of the key issues facing us as a country. The Key Points of the stories that matter with the people who matter. This is Key Points, the #1 award-winning television news analysis program. Every Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on TV3 and on Free FM 92.7. TV3, first in news.
Mike Brown's Kitchen. Mike Brown's Kitchen.
I read the same in Mike Brown's Kitchen. New season, new stations. Hey, Mike Brown's Kitchen. Na want TV so I check. Who ya check. But the Namia Yeni and Chakrano. But TV3. Mimi Devia. 5 to 6 p.m. Nana Yabasha Wati. Minimi Kunumi Mayabasha Sesako. Ghana Fodo. Hey, that's
McBrown's Kitchen, premiering Saturday, October 7th at 5 p.m. on TV3.
The past 12 weeks of this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful competition, contestants have been on a journey of sheer determination, showcasing great talent and the rich culture of our beautiful nation on the Ghana's Most Beautiful stage. 5 beautiful ladies, Na Ayele, the courageous one from the Greater Accra region, Adwanigi, the bold one from the Upper East region, Selom, the ambitious one from the Volta region, Kwatma, the determined one from the Bono region, and Nura, the assertive one from the Northern region. Come 8th of October at the National Theatre, dreams will be realized, and one of these exceptional ladies will be crowned Ghana's Most Beautiful 2023. Keep pushing your favorite contestants to win the most coveted crown, the cash, and the car by voting to the short code *713 *13# on all mobile networks. You can also download the TV3 Reality app on App Store or Play Store. It will be an amazing night of glitz and glamour. Grab your tickets for a cool 50 Ghana cedis and come support your favorite queen on the 8th of October at the National Theatre, 8 p.m. sharp. Ghana's Most Beautiful, Ghana's Beauty, Africa's Pride.
GMB 2023 is sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix, GTP, Techno Camon 20 Series, AT, Pepsodent Charcoal and Lemon Infused Formula and Pepsodent Natural Herbal Formula, Geisha Moringa and Geisha Black Soup, Key Soup, Bell Pack Tissues, Sankofa Natural Spices, Vitamilk, Deluxe Acrylic Paint, Nescofa Black Tonic, Heaven Black Mosquito Spray and Coil, Enapa Foods, Freedom from Casapreco, Frutelli Calipo, Duffy's Health and Beauty, Obuasi Bitters, Nubna Womwankasa, Dragnet, Shalatem, Top Choco.
Save 500.
Global Wings Travel and Tour.
Makeup was done by House of Tara.
Welcome back to Ghana Tonight. Now, some trainee teachers, even before completing the school, are planning to leave the shores of Ghana and render their teaching services abroad. Now, they cited poor conditions of service for teachers and disrespect their view for the teaching profession as a driving factor. We spoke to a number of them earlier today.
In our country, Ghana, they devalue teachers. When I travel to other countries, though, they put value on teachers, so they will increase my salary. So why should I stay in Ghana? I have to leave the country for a better place.
If I have any chance, I'm gonna go. There are lots of students in Ghana. A lot of students. Some are even completing without getting jobs. So me leaving is not going to make anything for short. There are lots of students.
It's very, very worrying in the sense that you use the nation's resources to train teachers who are supposed to come and educate our youth and our children for us. And then it ends up that they just leave the country for greener pastures. And so one, it means that we are losing resources. And then again, you see, it's not about, someone will say that when they leave, others will come. But experience also matters. So if the conditions of living are not improved, obviously people will leave.
Well, that's the reality, that if the conditions are not improved, people will leave. These are some of the person you just heard there is a teacher at one of the teacher training, or that's the colleges of education, talking there. And the trainees, a number of them have made up their minds. Christian Dinkra is an executive member of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT. He's joining us on Zoom. Mr. Dinkra, thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Have any of your members, I'm talking about NAT, members come to you with this same concern that, look, the teacher deserves his reward on earth, so I want to leave this country and go and seek greener pastures?
Absolutely. I have a number of them. And now as we speak, I can't mention their names. They are in the US. And they are even luring me to join them. They've sent me links with my qualification. They are okay that I join them. And they are desirous that I should join them. And so I have numerous of them, numbers. And tracing them by region, I can say that about 4 of them so far from the BA, about 3 from Ashanti, that's Bia and East areas, and so they are living. Yeah, I have them telling me that, look, in the US, yeah, can take you 2 months of a Ghana salary. So yes, I have many of them.
Let me get the salary structure right. I lost you briefly. What's the salary like as compared to what they were earning in Ghana?
And so, for example, the one who left just about 3 weeks ago, name withheld, told me that a month of their teaching is giving them about 8,400. And they do it even hourly. And so the unit or the county that employ them, you know, it varies from state to state. And so the state that employ them, he told me they are earning about 8,200, 8,400. This is the net. The agency fee, so gross, let me say gross is about 10,000 thereabouts. But the agency through which the state employed them, okay, or their mother, it's like a consortium that employ them and deploy them to the school within the state where their services are needed. And so let me say a degree holder who left. In fact, it's Andrews. I can even link you up to him. I can link you up to him. He tells me that's about 10,600. Then when they strike, they pay the agency fee and other hostel or accommodation fee. They are getting about 8,400 cedis a month.
8,400 cedis a month. That's the net, I guess. But before this story, which was published today, attributed to the Registrar of the National Teaching Council, Dr. Christian Adaipoku, who announced that the high attrition rate in the nation's education sector poses a great threat towards the future of the nation's education and development, making the point that, for instance, earlier this year, a little over 16,000 Ghanaian teachers applied to the Department of Education in the UK for employment, 16,000 between January and March alone. That's his reference point. So before this issue, did you raise this concern to the GES or the Ministry of Education, and what was the response?
Nothing is done. Nothing is done because, as a matter of fact, you know, the collective bargaining agreement, which was signed on the 27th of August 2020, has expired last August. Okay, that's last month. And we're supposed to negotiate for the new collective bargaining agreement, within which the things that we need or the allowances that the teacher deserves. For example, if you take the current collective bargaining agreement, we have 21 allowances. Out of these 21 allowances, they are paying only retention premium. That is to maintain the teacher or to motivate the teacher to remain in the service so that they will not leave. They are paying that one, which we call retention premium. Then the 1,200, which some of us are kicking against, which is the continuous professional development allowance, that the CPD, that one is 1,200 for the professional teacher and 800 cedis for non-professional teacher, which is paid accumulatively in November, December, which some of us are still fighting against. Fighting against because if you are giving me a professional development allowance, I do not wait to go for workshops, to go for seminars in November or December. As and when I go. So we are fighting that it should be consolidated. It should be part of the salary paid to the teacher so that it will be a consolidated kind of salary as the retention premium. The next one that has been another thing that we are fighting is the regular payment of the car maintenance allowance. Remember that this one too has delayed. It's not something that has been regular. We are also moving and proposing that it should also be consolidated with the salary. So out of these 21 allowances, it's only 3 that is even effective. But even the 3, the car maintenance allowance has been in arrears. And talking about responsibility allowance, talking about night allowance, talking about dress allowance or dress allowance, talking about acting allowance, all these are not being paid. So the salary itself remains captured by inflation, by the exchange rate, by the current economic conditions we have. So it's not enough. That is why they are leaving. And so if the collective bargaining agreement has expired and we are not making any conscientious effort to negotiate for other condition of service, and then the teacher is nothing without it. It's nothing without it. And so, yes, we have made them aware.
I see.
As we speak, negotiation for next year's salary is supposed to resume, or is supposed to start July against 2024. But as I speak, nothing is happening. We take the initiative as a union, but as I speak, negotiation for salary increment is still not happening because the employer must give you indication that, yes, I am ready, come, let's negotiate for next year's salary. And so that is also not happening. And we are sending a word of caution that if they are doing this so that they will say they are giving us COLA, we will resist it. Because remember, COLA doesn't have future. Here, I mean, if they are giving you COLA, they are not going to pay your SNIT. And so always, anytime there is COLA, you are denying the teacher or the worker of his or her SNIT contribution. So we are not going to take any COLA. We want our basic salary increased. And that is why negotiation must begin.
Right. Mr. Dinkra, thank you for your time here on Ghana Tonight and very detailed information there on the state of affairs with the teachers and why a number of you are leaving. Christian Dinkra, executive member of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, and per the registrar of the National Teaching Council, Dr. Christian Adai Poku's own information that's addressed to him. He says, early this year, a little over 16,000 Ghanaian teachers applied to the Department of Education in the UK for employment. And by June 13th, 2023, 10,000 out of the 16,000 applicants had actually been given employment by the UK government with the Ghana teaching licenses, had been certified to work in the UK. And these were people who were trained with you and I, the taxpayers' resources, but unfortunately, because of the economic situation and what they're faced with and not being paid well, we're losing out on that. Consider that for the nurses and the doctors as well. Now, what's happening is that, according to the Africa Education Watch, the situation may get worse if the interventions and investments are not made in the sector. Take a look.
According to the Equitable Access to Public Education report, an analysis of the growth of schools data reveals the number of public schools increased from 36,822 in 2010 to 42,010 in 2020, an increase of about 14%. Whereas over the same period, private schools, which numbered 18,380 in 2010, increased to 39,070 in 2020, recording an increase of about 112%. A Development Africa Education Watch says hinders Ghana's achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal 4 of access to quality education.
Over the years, we've seen a virtual stagnation in the number of basic schools being built. In many municipalities, we are hardly building even one school in a year. And as the research has pointed out, in Adenta, for instance, in the past 4 years, we've been able to build only 2 primary schools.
Well, that's a situation. Just in Adenta alone, the last 4 years, just 2 primary schools have been built. Can talk about what's happening in the hard-to-reach communities. This is Adenta, the Greater Accra region. But coming up next, the Ghana Football Association held a successful election in Tamale to elect leaders to lead the country's football for the next 4 years. In the extraordinary congress held in the northern region capital, Tamale, Keto Kreku was re-elected unopposed as the president of the Ghana Football Association. Now, let me take you through the persons who were elected today. We're going to put that on the screen shortly. And this is it. First off, this is the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association. You see there, Keto Kreku is president-elect, unopposed. Executive Council representatives, Frederick Champong, Nano Drosafo, Dr. Randy Abe there, James Kwesi Appiah. It is Kwesi Appiah's election that has generated some conversation. And then you have Kingsley Osebonsu as well. Now, let's take a look at the next. And then you have the women's football representative, Dr. Gifty Efia Owari Mensah, and Division 1 League representatives on the Executive Council, Makado, Gideon Fosu, and Eugene Nobel Ampong Noel there. Now, these are the persons who were elected earlier today during the GFA's extraordinary Congress. Now, why is James Kwesi Appiah's election generating a lot of conversation? Here's the reason why. He is going to be appointed as the head coach of the Sudanese senior national team in the coming days. And he's been elected an executive member of the GFA, Ghana Football Association. Now, Yafo Sulabi is my colleague. He is in the northern region, Tamale specifically. He's covering this Congress for us. And then also we have Christian Collins Atapoku. Collins Atapoku is a football pundit and also senior journalist based in the Ashanti region. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. I start with you, Yao. Did this issue really generate some conversation at the Congress grounds? The election of Kwesi Appiah? as a member of this executive council of the GFA?
No, Alfred, it didn't generate any conversation at all. I think that the delegates who went into votes were clear in their minds that they wanted Kwesi Appiah on the ESCO, and that is what they did. I mean, I don't think that all through the Congress I heard anyone talk about Kwesi Appiah's imminent appointment to take on the job in Sudan in relation to this executive council job. And so that's really just it. No one spoke about it. The people who went in there to vote just went in there to vote knowing that they wanted Kwesi Appiah on the ESCO. Now, there were 18 teams that voted, and 8 of them disagreed to vote for him. 10 of them voted for him. And so that's, I mean, the people who voted for him know why they did. And I think that, it's a cause for concern, really. One, because he's taking on the job in Sudan. There's a lot of pressure at this point on Sudanese football. They want to become one of Africa's, good football teams again, and that's why they are choosing Kwesi Appiah to get in there. And so for Kwesi Appiah to have that job and to have a job on the ESCO, I think that there's it's a bit shocking that he would take on these two very important jobs. But then also Kwesi Appiah is the choice of Asante Kotoko, and Kotoko would also want to be on the executive council because it's the biggest decision-making body at the FA, and if the club that prides itself as the biggest club in the country does not have a rep there, then I think that is unfortunate. And so the people who voted for him know why they did. Kwesi Appiah campaigned properly, and so probably that's why they did.
Interesting. Now, let me bring in Collins Tapoko as well. Collins, I mean, is there any element of conflict of interest here based on your understanding of the GFA's own statutes with Kwesi Appiah, now Sudanese national team coach and a member, he's been elected a member of the Ghana Football Association Executive Council?
Well, for the FA's laws, I think he's good to go. The bigger problem here is the fact that he could actually be in conflict of interest when he has to work for the interest of the Ghana Football Association as a board member at the position that the ESCO represents. And then also the fact that we could be coming up against Sudan in any form, be it at the national team level or the juvenile level, and he would have to see to it that Sudan actually beats us. So I doubt, how is he going to combine the two and work it out at the same time? At some point, I'm of the view that he could be contravening the laws of the fair competition, in that he cannot be serving two masters at the same time. It will get to a point he would have to choose between inflicting pain on Ghana to earn his minimum wage or daily wage in Sudan, or the love of his country and the fact that he's working on the board of the FA.
I see, but even if the GFA statutes, as you have just said, he's good to go, nothing wrong, couldn't the GFA, knowing this, that he's now a coach of another country's senior national team, have done something about it?
It's something that came up strongly during his vetting. It was an undertone discussion, but it had not been firmed up. And I agree with you that it could have been done at the voting booth, but the clubs see things differently and then decided to vote for him. I'm pretty sure it's something that could have influenced the voting, but it didn't.
So, Collins, Ketokreku has been elected GFA president, unopposed, 117 out of 119 votes. That's it. Another 4 years. Collins.
Well, we are all praying for that very change to come. He sounded contrite and reconciliatory in his victory speech this time round, compared to some of the things he had said and exhibited over the years. You take that away from the fact that this is a hugely contested election, that he didn't contest anyone at the FA level, but it was an election between him and the people of Ghana. And he ought to understand that he needs to get the trust and confidence of every person involved in the football running in this country. Away from that, he also ought to understand that he must be a better team player this time around, something that he ought to do and do better. And then also he must manage the post-elections drama very well. This is an election that did not have the Ghana Police Service. It's an election that did not have the Electoral Commission. These two agencies were very clear and involved in the elections 4 years ago. How come this time around they were not there? They were served with an injunction notice and they decided to stay away from it. But we went ahead to have the elections, and it's my view that, in a considered view, that he should engage broadly beyond just the football realms and the Georgia Fie rhetoric. He has lost the trust of most Ghanaians. And if you were to do a survey to accept how Ghanaians rate him, his ratings among Ghanaians is not the best. He is very popular in the football landscape based on the voting pattern we saw today. But the president ought to work on winning the confidence and interest of Ghanaians back to the side of the FA.
Oh, Collins, thank you. Now, so this particular point about Keto Kreko's election and the speech that he gave, yes, sounded quite reconciliatory, but you interacted with the other people there. How was the reaction or the response to Keto Kreko's election?
Alfred, I mean, I think that the response just came in with the amount of votes that he got. 117 out of 190 should just tell you that everyone there, because that amounted to around 97.5% of the votes.
But he contested unopposed, is it not?
Yeah, exactly, yes. But I mean, they had an opportunity to choose no, but every one of them decided, because there were two people who chose no. So if you have an opportunity to choose no and you didn't, and you decide to go with him, then I think that's the general mood of everybody, that they just want the guy to continue. And I mean, he in his speech said all of that, and after that there were people who were cheering him, there were people who walked up to him. The thing is, I mean, Alfred, you may not be happy with him. A lot of Ghanaians may not also be happy with him. But the people who vote, there are 119 people or 120 people at Congress today who voted, seem to be happy with him. And I think that that is just a subset of the number of people who, have either put confidence in him to do a job, and then they think that he has failed and so he needs to go. But the football people actually think he's done a good job, and that's why they've given him the mandates to go on. And so, yeah, I don't think that anybody, felt aggrieved or anything about Kets staying on and retaining his seat and continuing for the next 4 years. A lot of people there they looked excited. They looked like they had made the right choice. But now, like Colin said, it's just the onus lies on him to make sure that it works out. The last 4 years haven't been great. Everybody has seen how our football has gone, and he knows that the football has not necessarily been great. And so the next 4 years should become very clear. There should be a clear indication of where our football is heading, particularly at the next AFCON, and then possibly the next World Cup qualifiers and all of that.
Right.
All of those things would be obligations that would weigh heavy on his shoulders. And so we're just hoping that he works things out. He goes ahead and unites the football front like he said he would in his speech.
Great stuff. Yeah, thank you so much, and good work done in Tamale. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you. Yao Fosolabi is with the 3 Sports team, and then also Collins Atapoko is a sports journalist joining us from Kumasi. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. We also appreciate your company, watching us on Facebook and in your homes as well. Join us same time tomorrow for another conversation. I am Alfred Ocansey. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior. This program is rated PG. It contains scenes of brief nudity, mild violence, and strong language. Parental guidance is advised.
Yabona namhlanje is a good day. Umuntu unesizathu sokuthi why celebrate a good day.
Oh, hayibo kunini manje uthatha lento ungade uphume egusheni. Thetha. Bala.
Awu bangarenti room lam like
Hey, ubuyile. Oh, hayi kodwa mntanami na udala uhleli pha ubucifana uyahlala pha forever.
Please, I'm really not in the mood for this.
Yeah. Oh, Millie. And men. Ngiyajabula ukuthi ufikile la ekhaya mntana wami futhi yazini ufika ke ngetiming right ufika lapho izinto zilunga khona.
Ngeziphi into esizilunga uduthethe.
Ilalela wena ke into engiyenzile mina ngihambile ngakhuluma nobasi wami ngamtshela ukuthi angandisela umsebenzi ukuze inyanga mephela ngithola imali ethe xaxa.
Ngophi lo msebenzi lo?
Ngizileke leyo.
Umsebenzi onjani lo?
It's confidential.
Yeah, ke.
Yeah, into okusalayo nje ukuthi mayifika imali izobe isidudla. Uzoyithatha ngeyinika indodakazi yami iyazi ukufeza idingo zayo.
If you want to make my dreams come true, then ngicela ukuthi wenze an honest woman. Ngikhokhele lobola.
Kya uyathetha ngomuntu wamthiyo. Yazibona kufuze mina ngoba krelekrele. Yazi ntoni? Emsisi. Yazi ukukhi magazine bendiyifundile last year. Ndanibone lokho umtshato enhle. Ndandayibona qomba hayi. Leya ifanele sisidudla. Ifanele mina lalokho. Yo.
Ukhulume nale yangane ngathi ayikho right.
Hayi suka nawe thetha nayo. Ba right wethu batefa abantwana. Nansi. Yo. Yabona umtshato wethu. Sokugcwela abantu senginxibe kakuhle yonke into nje ha bawuthi shosana bakudala bethetha besithi mina soze ngitshate abantu abavala imilomo.
Ntha? Ntha flat run fit. Lidila flat.
Uthini manje?
Yeah, hayi nikitsamaya ka bona hayi ikhawathile wabona. Eish.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Ngathi hlatshwe something khona lana.
I think it's like a bombu fela man. Hona di2.
Ushuthi impambi ngaba grand.
Yeah.
Engabuncedile mfethu man yazi.
Yeah, ngawuthusa.
Athi ngicheke lana.
Sure.
Yabona manje man. Ey.
Yeah.
Ubana nowadays umuntu onganginceda mfethu nowadays. Khona manje nazi neboss yami ngiyayitshela man ngala lezi. Kuthi no man angithola assistant uyabona. Ngoba phela manje ngiyasokola mfethu man. Ayish. Ezomhayara for lazy. Ay. Awubheke manje. Ayish.
I was starting to think of so procuring artists since we are
Bandi, that is never gonna happen, guys. Don't get oh, show me nice time is the real deal.
Good vibes.
So, fancy vibes, mhlambe. Kodwa laphana, I pretend. But bazokudlala friend, got to Spanish guitar. You need to watch out.
Sure, but like, I mean, it's discuss a seat for a place that was all pretentious, 99. Zanku phone now I want to check and then.
It's actually not that bad. It's no more going to get on.
Magwan, hasn't Lelana some weeks ago? Can you believe it? Like, he's so hot, but is he as hot as he is on TV?
Yeah.
In real life.
Lalela, yabona futhi una charm yokusoka player angene athi ngebrackets. Put it down. Yeah, I cha muhle mfana abantu. Futhi did a lot of cool stuff with this name, Esther.
Okay.
I'll show you some pictures so I want to make content.
Ozana zinga, eh?
Yofuna ngi-upgrade la. Achangeke. See?
Oh, bethule kodwa yafanelana yathi. Uyabona nje ukuthi love lives ya.
Please, don't believe everything anyone on social media. I mean, these people just create content and then they call it curating.
Ngani, yini ngathi unabona?
Check your phones.
Okay. Millie. Right under your friend's nose.
Do you guys still believe in their true love?
You're that bitch.
No. All I'm just trying to show you guys, don't believe everything that you see on social media. Go listen to Thomas. Please. And this stays between us.
You're so stiff.
A little more to the left, baby. Oh, yes. Baby, yeah, your phone.
Babe, I just need to take a look, honestly, just real quick. We have this image makeover that we're doing for Lesedi, so it won't take long.
Baby, you're leaving me hanging. Come on. Oh, so nice.
Is this real? Makwande, is this real? You slept with her.
It's not what it looks like.
That is Millicent in our bed. What the fuck? Is this the reason why you kicked her out?
Baby?
Makwande.
She didn't come near our bed. Now you're born abandilele up. I didn't sleep with her.
Please! The pictures are on social media. It's right there.
Baby, she clearly set this up.
What do you...
Okay, look. We just kissed. Okay? But we were drinking, so bending at drinking. I've been going through...
Don't fucking touch me.
I've been going through a lot. Okay, I've been meaning to tell you. But now you can see that she clearly set this up.
Fuck, you screw up and now you're playing a victim.
Esther.
You.
Enjoyed it. We were doing it right under your nose for weeks. And the other night when you walked in, there was no surprise. We lied because you nearly caught us. There. There!
I want you out of here. Tonight.
We should just leave and go down.
Go back, focus. I was just put in bed. I've had a long day and I need an early night.
Awufuni ukuthi ngifike kwakho ngidokumassage.
Of course. Ika evene mom.
Yi, nawe. I took it to the guys, but batasadisa mase baqhithile ngebranding. Okay. Now we worry. Woi, woi.
Dala tila tingale khashamba le masho zechweba ukuhamba kwenkeba. Bathele imali. Bantwana alright. Nawo la mashita kade ngitshela ngayo. Maradona lo, Romy.
Sure, Gabriel. Abesasiqolisele vele umbuso ngesipana. Sijabula isipana nani Mr. Foster?
Hotman lam. Mina ngusithi Makhandlela khanyisa ngomlilo wensimbi. Dlula impukane nyadubula. Thuma mina. Awushapa isipana sakho nandle. There'll be no need for that. singaba khona isidingo ekwazi awusho mfethu imoto esibili ihamba kanjani ngale
Yeah, ke tlo spanisa taxi ya HOG. Re tla pata branding and then nale AB re tla lata wasane before the job. Mafethu, mamelang ne. Ke batla re ya through the plan one more time. Make sure that we're all on the same page. Right? Sure.
Tell me, do you think these guys will be able to pull off this job?
No, they're the best in the business. I trust them.
I'm not sure,
Yeah.
So looks older than most of them.
Yeah, but he's very, very experienced and he shows great initiative.
Madoda, le mali kunabantu abaningi abathembele kuyo. Angiphathi ke igama likahulumeni elisengcupheni. Ningangiphoxa.
Okay.
Oh, asikisa. Akabona nto.
Ikaing. Besifuna itaxi. Ayikho la ngaphandle.
You boys better learn to communicate better. Simon Winkile this morning, we took up an music producer.
We need a third vehicle for this plan to work. I'm not
relaxing, This one is another way.
King, Abednego, does a man of the street have something to say?
Ikhona planning nayo. Okay, but nje mina ahlangane nami in 20 minutes lapha esontweni. Ngizoza nayo mina itaxi.
What later?
Ayikhohle ama details. Ngizoza nayo itaxi.
Limiting. Samuthola nje udak.
Listen, I've said it before, but one more time will not hurt. The money goes with you three in this van. Your call sign over the radio will be Hardy Down. Those two are call sign Crow, right? They will drive ahead of you and they'll keep a lookout for any trouble. If you do find trouble along the way, get on the radio and radio them, and then they will be your backup, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Oh, and listen, you do not stop for nobody. You got it? You got it?
Yeah, got it, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. All right. Keep.
I'll get the rest of my stuff another day.
Yeah, just make sure that I'm not here before you come, because I don't need to see you come get your toothbrush or another pair of shoes or whatever it is that you need to get.
Well, won't you be tutoring the city or something?
It's 10 in the morning.
Yo, ingxaki abantu ba unomsebenzi njengomuntu wonke.
Just text me before you come here. I'll make plans to go see my friends, at least the ones you didn't sleep with.
Sentrasini. Wena nabantu bakho akusingithatha le taxi.
Ngizongijwayela kabi.
Ubona ibhasi.
Ngibona nawe wathi umtshela umbhalo. Sephuma.
A kiss? Ne boyfriend, ye best friend yakho kanti ngumuntu onjani Millicent? Hey, what you can't tell? Why you not funny like a boyfriend?
Because I don't want a boyfriend.
Oh, a funny boyfriend. So one mama touch your best friend out. One would give me a pumi again. When I feel my grand temptile when who's Delilah.
Of course, Esther's innocent in all of this, and it's because she can never do wrong in your eyes, ma.
You're selfish and him danandin. You're selfish. Show me nice time. Hey, well, show me nice time for yourself. I'll cut a second about hate your bunny when. Couch, ubang about Mary, angayazi lendo. Ucifan bandanza banomsebenzi. Ndizawugqodwa. Uzubulele ke uba utata yakho usaphangela unomsebenzi. At least kukho umuntu osondlayo apha endlini. Ngaphandle kwakho. Awusebenzi. Uthatha amadoda abantu. Tshi.
That will be your 7th one, sis. Can't understand me different, can I?
Everyone wants to talk and talk all the time, but where does that get us?
Look, indlela elula against abangani.
My so-called friend stabbed me in the back and broke my heart. I don't think I need any new friends.
I hear you. Kodwa wonke umuntu udinga umngani, Esther.
Raisa nake. Kana wena o
Igama uNoluthando.
Noluthando. That's right. Your father owns the place.
Yeah. He used to own the place, but I actually run it now.
Okay. That's good. You go, girl. Secure the bag, right?
Washonu baba.
Oh. I'm busy moaning about my problems. Meantime, you're going through bigger things. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Wonke umuntu unezinkinga, big and small.
Where's the king? You're right. I think I've had enough.
Yeah, I think so too. Now get your pretty ass home, and I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Okay, one. You can't go about how to buy on a chain of fell. You see, go fell.
Mama and the boys are safe.
Akira, that was all the heat you got, no? No snide witnesses stating you boys didn't run into trouble. Akira? Huh?
Lots. No witness at all.
Praise God. Abanekiena anana le rona ka chekulena. Watsa go robala boroko bo monate fela ke tseba gore bana ba ka kaofela ba safe and sound. Hey. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I think it's time for that single malt, eh?
Almost. Fellas ka tshwenye, it will be worth the wait. Boys, liseng tshwengule nngwe ko veneng.
Go vending, Mama. We have to get rid of the evidence.
Mamela mami. Lona le sebeditse fela. This is the first part of the plan. There's one little piece missing. Ke batla le driving van in at least to the lockup area behind Casanova.
Vene fela ke re seng tšhelete.
Nthongule nngwe. Gabriel, go bane le thata gore tshepe mme wa hao mara.
Into engicabanga ukuthi uGabriel
There's nothing to worry about. Put the rest of the cash back into the van, Liditunya, and move out. Please.
Tatazele njengembuzi. Azibafeti nizongikhanyisa ngale bhiya yazi. Ngazongijwala kabi manje.
Usabani lengaka? Yela.
Yeah, Matawa.
Izitha mafika. What are my favorite part? Ile nto sizeleke le.
Manje u-AB yena ukuphi?
Azwakali.
Why?
Waspan.
Antusiza.
Usayibona ngiyabala la.
Sweetie.
Hayi ngifisa.
Sho iphi awunawo kwayi lapho mfowethu?
Lutho mnganami, lutho.
Ekuseni kangaka wena ubekwa yini la?
Ngishaya i-drop off for
Oh, akunasimoke man, vele le boza bekufuna blind namhlanje.
Manje
uyazi la kwagazathi kuyasheshwa bani ukufuna like no.
All right.
Abednego. Just the man engilo ngifuna ukumbona. Candy baby. Awuyele khutez. Phola with me. Asmut wheat. So angitshela ngifuna ukwazi.
Ufuna ukwazi mbosa?
What is your plan?
Plan.
You smoke. Smoke lo selieve swine.
Oh. Bingakacabangi that far.
Baby. Good timing.
Bingakadingi that far wena bosa yami.
Salute. Abednego. Asimnqaka ukubona uthi ukurelaxa kancane. Aningacanga ukuthi ekunochnijo open up phansi phezulu ni. Asimoya. Baya moya. Umtesine youngster uzimisele. Jeviet intwana icava isipani netsuju. Eksinjo Abednego. Jiskakongela. Ngicwala medaya. Mara no ayinangqondo yonke lento ukuthi sikhipte kuma small time circuit angithola. Yabona mina I get that long gesien. Since day one ukuthi J just a light here kan crew. And manje sesifike isikhathi sakho. So ukuthi kube uwe umaqhuzu finance drug operation.
Hayi boboza uthini manje? Userious?
Uniwari me light. Nenyuko izothi ukuthi kancane.
No cha. Cha boza yami. Akuleka ke nje. Yabona mina ngizoshow ukuthi ube proud ngami.
Und Abednego, my man. My man. Kwala Jumi light.
Hello. Detective Tuso, please.
Please. I'm sure there must be something here that we can try on that you can. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I think this one, this one, this one, and this one. Try these ones on, babes. Okay, hurry.
Sister Rivyako, I am yo.
Okay, party time. Nah. It's non-alcoholic. Cheers.
Hey, Moles. You almost broke the internet ngale posters.
Sangeneni. Why would I post that?
So, if I post one, ubange. It wasn't me. Come on, Moles, I swear.
The only people I told were Gwen and Obatin. And Gintelile, guys. I told you, don't share the video.
It's you, ne? Magwanda's makeup artist side check.
Here we go.
Spicy indeed. But you know what? Next week I'm getting married, so I'm not trying to damage any of this, as you can see. But you know what would be amazing? If Magwanda's Sai, no, I mean someone special did my wedding makeup.
What? Oh, okay, I charged 2K for him, shut.
Done, babes. But first, I want my selfie. Great. I'll DM you the deeds. Just follow me back.
I could get you to your side.
I mean, yes, girl. Wow.
Angiyeke lo mshini lo. Ayababa lento.
Yeah, you're not blind. But compared to mine, yazama nya.
Awugcini ngani bo?
Wahla. It was anything that linked to the heist.
Heist. Heist.
Okay, what do you mean?
That case is good as closed.
What?
Ukazathi uboshiwe. Tholakala ivela lapha endaweni yakhe ngamelanga ibe khona merchandise ngamelanga ibe sezandleni zakhe. Isile le man sekabi ukazathi.
So that's what she was doing.
That is fucking sweet, man. Yazi bemele umbone bethu kumele umshayimba kwendlebe. Akabonanga next.
I can see why I'm really interested.
Yeah, but it worked. You're looking at a free man now.
Yeah.
Buke ukhathele, afuna ukukhiphe leyo.
Okay. Two things though. Keys in the car. Make sure you clean her up when you're done and don't have too much fun. Okay?
Too much fun. Ain't no such thing.
Gimme. Oh, right, baby. It's for my people that be going through it lately. Whoa, pause, hold up, rain. Get to that money, boy. Count up, keys, hold up, whoa, pause, rain. Get to that money, boy. Long, I'm cool. Long, I'm cool. Swing sets, playgrounds. Told God if he give me one more chance, I promise that I won't play ground. I'm supposed to die in that hospital. I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying now. Even the doctor said, choose a lucky one. Get your shit together, stop playing around. So I got back on my business, had to get back to the meanest. And it's still a hater. Can I get an amen? Not to get too religious. Let me get more specific. I was on the Pacific with the bad ass.
Mm-hmm.